Welcome to HearthBreakers with your hosts Monk Business, Dorathor, Iron Shaft, and Hirudra.
Welcome to HearthBreakers, the show where cards are played and hearts are broken. So in today's episode, we were actually kind of lucky because just as we were about to make this episode, a whole slew of cards were released, including a lot of new legendaries and I think 63 new cards and 3 nerfs. So this will be a long podcast indeed. Therefore, yay, we are all excited. So I think we won't be having too much of an introduction. You guys know all of us. We have all been in this podcast before. So we'll just head right into the nerfs, I think. It is worth noting that we will be going through all of the newly released cards in order of mana cost, first neutrals, and then the class specifics. So if there is any specific card you want to see our opinions on, you can just jump in the video, and it should make sense if what you're searching for is either above or below the mana cost. So we'll start off with 3 new nerfs that were announced. The first one should be Soulfire, indeed. Soulfire had its mana cost increased by 1, so I think that's gonna heavily influence the 2 big decks with Warlocks. I don't know if you guys have any special analysis on this.
I want to hear Hirudra on this one because he's the Warlock main.
When I saw it, I was like, okay, now you can actually consider taking Soulfire out of Sue. Like, I'm more into Sue than in Handlock, but I think it might still be played, but I'm not sure actually. I think it will. I think it's still a good card because you often go to 0 cards in hand. So I think you'll still play it, but it's like it changes it from a must-have to a can actually play maybe 1 or 0. I don't know. I think it's still good, but I don't think it's super mandatory as it was before. For Handlock, I think they'll probably drop down to 1, maybe. I'm not sure.
I think I agree that they won't.
Yeah.
Because before, like
maybe
sometimes you could hold on to it because you didn't want it to discard like that one important card or the giants. Jiraxis or some key card. Because you had to go through all of the cards in your deck most of the time. Like a lot of the cards, and every single card was important. So I think the nerf.
I think it'll. Of course, it hits both deck a lot, but I think it hits like it will matter the most in Handlock because they will actually probably remove it. Yeah. I'm not sure it will happen, but I think.
I think one of the most important uses in Handlock is actually to use it on turn 4 after you've dropped the big guy. And you can't really do that anymore. So that's kind of a big deal. As well as you said, now you actually pay 1 mana to maybe discard an important card.
Yeah. And you can still do it on turn 10 with Jiraxis and the Soulfire, but still, I don't know. You can't do it on turn 9.
I think we mentioned in an earlier podcast that this card was really strong because essentially it was, with the hero power, it was a 2 mana 4 damage that also had the possibility of being played for 0 in a tough spot. So now it's like a 3 mana 4 damage, so it's not straight up better than all of the other classes' clear cards. So now you actually have, like, you want to have the positive effect of being able to sometimes play it for like only that 1 mana. And I think therefore Sue will probably still play 2, but I think Handlock might drop it to either 1 or 0 even.
Yeah, but I actually like the balance, mainly because it was so infuriating to playing against Sue, and like on turn 3 or 4 they had emptied their hand, and so early on the curve they managed to deal 4 damage to a minion. It gave so much tempo. The fact that you maybe can't drop it because of the mana cost now. I really like that. It was just too cheap.
Yeah, I think it was one of the really strong cards in Zoo as well, and I think it's probably okay.
Yeah, I agree with the nerf, definitely. Warlock and Hunter were like the two strongest classes, and even in the end in DreamHack they banned Warlock every time. So I think the pro players, myself included, acknowledged that Warlock were one of the strongest classes, definitely, and I think Soulfire was a part of that.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the next nerf, Flare. So Flare also got its mana cost increased by 1, so now it's a 2 mana card. Any thoughts?
Well, first off, I think it's actually things are actually gonna at least it's gonna stop being played in just generally like just fitting in the deck. You won't see one random flare or 2 random flares in 100 decks on ladder anymore, I think, at least. And I don't even think that you will actually purposely use it against a deck that uses secrets. Because first off, they might not have a secret when you actually get the flare. And second off, most of the time where they actually get a secret, they want to, if they can, pay 0 mana for that secret. So even though you actually get a card advantage out of the flare, you still lose tempo. If they paid 0 mana for their secret and you paid 2 mana to remove it, then you actually lose 2 mana, where they could spend those 2 mana filling the board or doing something like that.
Yeah, I think I disagree slightly. Where I think you would still play Flare against Hunter
against Freeze Mage, it would still be good. Against Hunter, I don't think it will be good anymore.
Depends on the Hunter. If it's a control Hunter, if you're gonna see that.
Well, yeah, if you take it into consideration, the current Hunter matchups, like even now Hunter mirrors Flare, it can actually set you back. If they get the secret through a Scientist, and you actually spend 1 mana clearing it, and they use that 1 mana to get a Leper Gnome out or something, then it can actually mess you up.
Yeah, that's not correct though, because if you didn't have the flare, you would just lose to the trap. But
yeah, of course, but like you could play your own trap and get your own trap for free.
I don't know. The thing is that it can be dead even in the Hunter matchup because they don't always have a trap, and you can have like 1 or 2 flares in your opening hand or something, which is really bad. I get the impression that you kind of think it's really useless now, and I don't think I completely agree with that. Though, I don't think you will never see 2 of it anymore.
I think even before I actually considered cutting it from my Hunter deck, but I like to keep the 1 just for the possibility of having it. Plus the downside wasn't that bad. But now that it actually costs 2 mana, the downside is actually quite big. It's basically a hero power that you lose, which in aggro decks can be quite detrimental sometimes.
Yeah, but if you hit a trap, it's more than worth it. Still, by far.
Yeah, I think you're gonna see it in competitive play a bit if you know what your opponent is playing or somewhat know what it's playing. But on ladder, if it's still the aggro hunter which is popular, I think both gonna be cut.
Yeah, I think so too. But I don't think it's bad in a tournament format.
Don't, definitely
where
not. It
you
has
can
its
choose a deck to play into another deck, especially if Mage get very popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends a lot on the meta, of course.
But it's really hard to say, really, with the new meta coming up, whether or not.
Yeah.
Like the decks that this card will be good against, because like Darius said, it's certainly not going to be an auto-include anymore, because before, 1 mana to draw a new card, whatever, sometimes you have 1 mana left over. But 2 mana is like double of that, so it's way rarer that you will be able to just throw it out for a new draw.
Yeah, I think we can all agree on this is a good change.
Because I like the change.
It was so easy of a counterplay that still had no downside of actually putting it in your deck.
Yeah, I agree.
So now it's actually a tech. I
feel the like for the current meta and the current amount of secrets and in class to actually have secrets, I think Flare at 1 was okay. Like, honestly, I didn't think it had that much difference. But I think this is a good change for future expansions and future use of secrets. If secrets become way more prevalent, then I think it's a really good change. But right now, I honestly, I think Flare was a problem. At one point, people thought it was a huge problem, but I think it kind of went down. I think people kind of stopped hating on Flare that much.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Right now, I don't think it has that impact.
It's the lesser evil between this card and Undertaker, so that's why Undertaker gets the hate and Flare got less.
I guess
doesn't mean that Flare was bad. But I think we'll move on to the next card, or the last card that was nerfed, which was Gadgetzan Auctioneer. And all of the nerfs were basically like the same. It basically just increased the mana by 1. So Gadgetzan will now be a 6 mana draw.
I like it. Yes.
Hirotra likes it. It seems like Daria does not like it. Could you elaborate on the disappointment?
Dislike. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, seriously, why? Why would you ruin such a good card?
Like, we all really talked about it a bit earlier. Like, it's okay to nerf it, but the fact that you nerf the mana cost is really crucial for mainly Miracle Rogue.
The thing with the card is that the stats on the card literally do not matter.
Yeah.
Like, it could, to an extent, like, if it was a 2/2 for 5 mana, like, it would be obviously less good, but you could still use it for the purpose. But now that it's actually 6 mana, it makes a pretty big difference in Miracle Rogue decks, at least.
Yeah.
And as a huge fan of Miracle Rogue, I don't like this. I think the best change would have been to make it a 4/3. And even though some people might disagree with that, the reason why I think it should be a 4/3/5 is that it would get hit by a lot more AoE through Conceal. Like, for example, it could die to Deadly Poison, Blade Flurry.
And Spell Power Consecration or something.
Spell Power Consecration, Spell Power Holy Nova, etc.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it could be much easier to clear while invisible and giving it a slight nerf, but I don't think the card was that big of a problem. It was basically a Miracle Rogue card, which could be used in some other decks, but I think it's a mistake to remove Miracle Rogue.
The thing is, I don't dislike the change too much, and I think the stats actually matter if you play it in anything that isn't Miracle Rogue. But it's kind of sad because now I played Gadgetzan in my Shaman, right? So I think Gadgetzan will be even more Rogue specific now, because now you have to build around it to get the value. Otherwise, it isn't worth the 6 mana cost.
I think I'm actually interested to see if you can still competitively play Miracle Rogue after this nerf, and considering the fact that Miracle Rogue actually usually gets worse with each expansion, because the deck is so tight that you can't really use the new cards in the deck usually.
Well, new spells might be better than old spells, so I don't think you can say that.
That's true, but it requires Rogue to actually get some spells, and all they're actually getting is minions. So
I think Blizzard dislike the kind of play style where you do nothing for a certain amount of time and then go ham. And I think that's the biggest reason this is happening, as well as the spare part. I think they don't want to risk that getting out of hand, even though it might be balanced. So
that's actually pretty sad, because when you play a Miracle Rogue, there are so many combos, and it's so rewarding to play Miracle Rogue. And sometimes it can also be rewarding to play against a Miracle Rogue and actually beating it, because you are anticipating a lot of combos, and there's a lot of thought process behind it compared to a lot of other decks. So in total, I really don't want to see Miracle Rogue fall out of the meta right now. But
I don't think it's a matter of the power of Miracle Rogue. Miracle Rogue wasn't powerful, and we will see some counters to it. There will actually be some cards in this set that are counters to Miracle as well, or not hard counters, but you could play and they would be good against Miracle.
Yeah, exactly. And
I think it's more about the idea behind the card rather than the balance of the meta. where the two other cards were more about the balance of the meta.
Yeah, true.
So, yeah, let's move on to actually new cards, or actual new cards.
The
first
start.
one will be very exciting target dummy. It's a 0 mana 1/2 mech with taunt.
Yeah, this is not gonna matter at all. I don't think it's ever gonna be played.
Zoo?
What about
Zoo?
Yeah, Zoo. It might be.
Buff it.
Yeah, I think if like
it's like the shield bearer for 0 mana, except
that's gonna be
but half the health.
Super early rushy. It's gonna be so rushy if they play this card. Like they're gonna empty their hands so quickly.
Yeah, even the hero power can follow this tempo.
Yeah, true. It's true. I think, to be honest though, I don't think it will be played in Zoo, because even if you play like a mech version, the point of the Zoo mech is to reduce the mana cost and get high value cards out cheaper or earlier. And this card doesn't have enough. Like you can't pay -1 mana.
Sadly, that would be cool.
And
play this card.
And I think, I think it's not gonna matter really. The only way I see this mattering is if you need to protect like some really, really important target early on in the game where people usually use battle instead of spells. But well, I don't see that.
I don't see it being played. No.
It's a cool image though. Like, it's like, hey, attack this thing. It's safe. I guarantee it. Well, let's move on to the next card then. Unless there's any more comments. No. Well, then off to a card I actually like a lot. It's called Ship's Cannon. It's a 2 mana 2/3. Whenever you summon a pirate, deal 2 damage to a random enemy. So it's not enemy minion, it's a random enemy. So I assume that also includes hero.
Yeah, it should.
So, pirate support.
Yes.
I think it's really cool that they are bringing support for old types. I know there are coming cards for both pirate and Murloc, and I think it's cool.
I know that a lot of people were actually complaining that Nextramas didn't bring any support for the old types, and people were wondering if Blizzard were actually gonna improve on those types at all, or just leave them as they were. And it's cool to see that they're actually bringing up pirates, and pirates are getting some pretty interesting cards, definitely.
It's good to get the love because there's so many mech cards. If the first couple of weeks they showed new cards, so it's good, and I hope they come more for pirate. But yeah, the pirate card in itself is actually really good in my opinion. 2/3 for 2 is a vanilla card is decent, and the deal 2 damage can actually be really crucial on, let's say, turn 3 or turn 2 if you coined it out. Also the fact that it has 3 health and not like it's a 3/2, because it tends to stick just a bit more when it's a 2/3.
Which is really the theme of Goblins versus Gnomes. I think there's so many 2-drops that has 2 attack and 3 health.
Yeah.
I think this card is really, really powerful. In a deck that is really weak. So
that's true.
Yeah. The thing here is whether or not this card is strong enough to merit playing the weak pirates. An interesting fact is that pirates are what's called the parrot. Pirate's parrot or whatever, Captain's parrot, will be changed to a pirate tribal subtype.
Whip spinners rejoice.
Yeah, it's good for web spinners, but also for Ship's Cannon, because then you can play it, shoot a cannonball 2 damage, you search something, you play that if you have mana for it.
That's actually pretty awesome.
Actually, you can play this card on turn 3. If you play Pirate Rogue, on turn 2 you can hero power. Turn 3 you can play cannon, and then you can play and then you get a 2/1 charger and a cannonball and a hero with you can hit. You basically have 5 damage on turn 3.
Yeah. And the thing is, if you have all of the pirate cards synergizes with weapon, So it's not too bad if I assume this is random. Yeah. If you hit something, you can clean it off if it has free attack or forage, depending on the weapon size.
You can manipulate the board state with your weapon first, and then hit something.
Yeah.
Just from this card alone, I think you can actually play Pirate Warrior as well. There's some decent there around the 2, 3, 4 drops. That could actually be pretty cool.
Yeah,
definitely.
But the thing is, it requires that you draw it. So I think it needs a little more pirate love to warrant playing it. But yeah, I think it's really cool.
It's a good start to try and make some pirate decks out of it.
I'm surprised they actually chose not to make it a pirate itself.
Well, it's a machine. I'm more surprised that it's not a mech, to be honest.
Well, but I don't know. You could argue that it could be a pirate. The pirate isn't a pirate as well.
Oh, that's true.
There could be a pirate controlling the cannons. I know. The point is, they felt the card was strong enough that it didn't have to be a pirate. But if it was a pirate, it would be even better. So I don't know.
That's true. I guess you cannot search this with the captain, which is...
Yeah, and you don't get to buff it.
Yeah. So, well, let's move on to the next card. So the next card is a 2-mana, 2/3 stealth called Gilblin Stalker. So, Derry, it seemed like you had an initial reaction to this card.
It's bad. It's the first time I'm seeing this card and it just feels bad.
Yeah.
Why would you want a stealth creature that is a 2/3? Like if you have a stealth creature, you want it to have a lot of attack. Usually.
I guess the argument is you can play this. It will not get killed by a weapon, and then you can trade it into something. I don't know. But I think I agree.
It has no archetype. It has no nothing. It's just a vanilla stealth 2/3. Like makes sense. I'll never play this card.
I think I agree. I think this card sucks.
I don't know if we're gonna talk a lot about Arena, but I think it has some merit in Arena though.
Yeah.
Well, it's a 2-mana, 2/3.
The advantage you have with this card is that you can play it on turn 3 or turn 2, and if they don't play anything you can kill, then you can just let it be stealth. So until they play something you can kill.
Or let's say there's another 2/3 with taunt, and there's a 1/2. You can just wait till you have traded that off and get the value out of that. But it's still a bit weird. It's very situational for that specific thing to happen. Probably mainly in Arena. So I agree, a bad card.
I guess you could argue that you could save this for something like Blessing of Kings if you want to make buffer then.
Savage Roll.
Because it has more health. Like for if you buff it with both attack and health, it's better to have more health. But
it just seems that if you want to have a minion you want to save for Savage Roll, you would just play Shade.
Yeah, because Shade is so much stronger.
Yeah, turn 1 this guy, turn 2 this guy, turn 3 Shade.
Yeah.
Yay, all the stealth in the world!
Yeah.
Then you get hit by Flare.
Yeah. Fucking Flare!
So, but that got nerfed though.
Yeah, true.
Well, I think, we don't like this card in general.
Nope. It's just like... It's just okay, whatever.
So, let's move on to more interesting cards. I say that, and then we get a vanilla. So,
what?
Look at the face!
It's so
a
ugly.
2-mana, 3/2 Murloc. It's called Puddle Stomper, and it's really, really freaking angry. I'm gonna eat your baby.
You're looking at me, bro! You're looking at me! Huh? You wanna fight?
This looks like...
This
looks like a monk business on a really bad day after he's been sick.
You wanna fight, mate?
What up, bro?
Mate, you would, mate? Well...
On another note, this is like a Murloc that does nothing.
Well, to be honest, it's not even bad.
Honestly, I feel like they could have given it some kind of effect of anything. Because right now the 2/1 is the one that spawns a guy is better for Murlocs because it swarms. It's a vanilla 3/2, but if Murlocs get more creatures, then this card will have no use.
Spoiler, they do.
I think it would be better if it was a 2/3. Mainly because
because they want to have sticky minions so they can buff them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's true. But they also want to deal damage. I think it's just in the theme that they all have more attack than they do health. I think it's just a thematic.
Not all.
Except the one that actually buffs the other guys.
And the 1/2 that climbs.
Well, that's actually true.
And the legendary.
And the 1/1.
Yeah. and
I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But to be honest, I think a lot of Murloc players dropped the 2/1 because it died to hero powers. And maybe like if you need to fill space, I think this is okay for
like this is a filler.
Yeah, this is a filler, 100%.
But I feel like they could have smacked an effect on, and it wouldn't be OP. It would just be good.
Yeah,
now it's just average, and I feel like average isn't good enough.
No, it's not even average. I don't know. I just think it's.
Well, it's like a Bloodfin Raptor.
Yeah, and that's not average, bro.
Yeah, I agree. Bloodfin Raptor is really bad. So yeah, it probably will not be played.
You can pick it in arena and actually decide later on, oh, I want Murloc Synergy without having any backdraw because you just picked the 2/3.
That is true.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think the card is that bad, because it might be a good card for Murlocs. I haven't played Murlocs, I don't know, but...
It might be okay.
It might be okay for Murlocs, but it's not overwhelming. It's not something special. Doesn't have an effect, so it's kind of like meh.
Yeah. So let's move on to hopefully not another vanilla. Let's see here. It's Stone Splinter Truck. A 2-mana, 2/3 again. Whenever your opponent casts a spell, gain +1 attack.
Generally, I don't like these when your opponent casts a spell card, because usually that will mean your minion will die, unless your opponent is really desperate, and then the extra attack won't matter, and then you can probably find something better.
Yeah, I totally agree. The fact that this is played on the board early often, and if they play a spell, the spell often do more than 1 damage.
Yeah, exactly.
It will often be a Frostbolt, yeah.
Yeah, that's just like the mediocre spell. It does like 3 damage or something.
Like if they play a spell, this card will usually die to that spell, so you won't get any benefit.
Or a hero power afterwards.
Yeah, and if it doesn't die to that spell, then your opponent is really desperate.
Yeah.
Or actually just doesn't care that it gets +1 attack. Well, +1 attack isn't much either, so...
For me, it's kind of like just spell taunt. Because if you have like a very aggressive deck and you play, I don't know, Knife Juggler and this guy, and then your opponent gets a spell, he's gonna choose. He's gonna have to choose between the really strong minion that you cannot play 4 of, sadly, and then this guy.
But okay, you can still accept the fact that you killed a Knife Juggler and made it a 3/3.
Yeah.
So, and that is very specific.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think it's... I think I agree for the most part. I don't think it's too good. It's good, not good enough.
Also, the fact that we compared these cards often to like a River Crocodilist with a bit of an upside. And that's okay, I guess, because it was okay before. But now with the new expansion, with a lot of cards that just raises the bar for 2 drops, I think you can't really do that comparison anymore in the same way.
Yeah, I think the comparison to River Crocodilist and Bloodfin Raptor was never okay. Because there were so many minions that had an effect.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and had, like, it's not even bad effect, it's significant effect. You had the slime guy that destroys a weapon, you have Knife Jugglers that can often deal up to like 3 or 4 damage even.
Yeah, Sunfury giving Taunter too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I think you need an effect that is at least that strong. To be good, unless it's really specific for like some kind of specific synergy.
Yeah, and still this card doesn't have a like attack with the mech or something like that, so it doesn't really have any kind of synergy with anything else, in my opinion.
Well, I think I agree.
Yeah.
So, no further thoughts on Stone Splinter Truck?
Not too exciting, kinda.
Not too exciting. Well, let's move on to the next card then. It's Ogre Brood, a 3-mana 4/4. It reads 50% chance to attack the wrong enemy.
Dude, those cards are so hilarious.
Just
Holy
no.
shit. Oh, I'm gonna have so much fun with those cards.
It's gonna be awesome.
I don't know. Just play the spider tank instead.
But dude, this can kill the spider tank and survive.
Yeah.
It can also hit face.
And then it's
get
still
soul
there.
fired.
No. The point is, it hits face, but then it's still there. Then the opponent has to clear it.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
The 50% chance is only bad if you're behind. If you're ahead, then it's good.
Or it's gonna hit the Hunter's new legendary card by accident, and you're just completely screwed. I don't know. I like the fact that they bring this mechanic in.
Can this shit hit past taunts and invis?
Exactly.
Yeah,
you can.
Oh, that's cool, actually.
Yeah. I actually like these 50% attack wrong enemy cards. I think they're good. I think they're underrated by a lot of people.
That's because they're rated extremely low by most.
Yeah.
I think.
I think this is definitely better than the weapon, because weapon is a bit more dangerous to use it on the wrong target. This minion is a 3-drop, so it's probably gonna play it pretty early. And if there's not much on the board, it often survives a trade, or at least deals damage to the face. So if it was a weapon, you're gonna be more annoyed using a weapon charge to the face.
Yeah,
without
I
even
agree.
removing
I agree completely.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Definitely true.
So actually, I think this card is quite good. It's the first time I'm seeing it, and I actually like it. Think it could be played in a snowball deck.
Sue full ogre Sue.
Just full ogre. Never go full ogre.
Never go full ogre, bro.
Never go full ogre.
It's never ogre till it's ogre.
Well, I agree with you guys that it's probably strong enough to see play, but I think I hate it.
Because it's random.
Because it reminds me of Ragnaros in a certain way. It has more control than Ragnaros, but it still reminds me of that guy, and I hate that guy.
The way I feel about these 50% cards is that if you can control the RNG, if you're ahead, that means you can control the board state, you control the RNG, then it's really good.
Yeah, but you can still hit face with it, though.
Yeah, but even if you hit face, it's good.
Well,
It's not bad, at least.
I think I disagree with controlling. Like, it's always going to be 50-50. And I think I also retract my statement that it doesn't remind me of Ragnaros after all, because it's early, and Ragnaros is shit because it decides games. This guy is so early that it does not decide games.
It can.
Well, it's not going to feel like it decided the game.
Hit a knife juggler behind 2 taunts or some shit.
Oh, that's gonna be amazing. Yeah, that's the miracle.
So it's stronger than you might think is our consensus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
So let's move on to the next card. It is Gnomrigan Infantry. 3 mana, 1/4. It reads charge and taunt.
What the hell? That's horrible.
It's insanely boring.
What? That's like they couldn't decide what to do with this card. It's like one foot in the one camp and one foot in the other. Do you want charge or taunt, dude? It's not like a mini Alakir, no. It's not gonna be like that.
They should have given it Wind Fury as well. It would have.
Okay, that would be.
Well, it could be better actually. Yeah, it would be better. Because
Alakir's retarded cousin, just coming in from the side.
Guys, I wanna play.
You should give it charge. Like it should be a 1/3 for 3 mana. Charge, Wind Fury, and 50% chance. Yo, buff it twice.
All
with Rock Fighters.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I hate it so much.
So, how many dice were used to decide what this card did? Do you think?
I guess one for every effect it can have, and it only rolled 6 on 2 on charge and taunt.
It feels like this card was the result of a random card generator.
Yeah,
that's true.
Random stats, random effects, random name, random picture. Yes.
Yeah, and the effects were just old effects. So yeah, that's true. Well, extremely boring card. I think it sucks. So should we just move along?
Yeah, I think.
See you, Gnormigan Infantry.
So sad when this card is gonna be
Let's
made.
move on to.
This card is so much better.
No, real. Okay, next card, please. Okay, everything we just said goes.
Just a second. I need my introduction for this card. It's a 3-mana 1/4 mech flying machine, and it has Wind Fury.
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
I'm reading it.
It needs charged and taunt.
I can only see the Hobgoblin.
This case you got switched again.
Then I will make sure that you can get the old picture. Do you have it?
Yeah, there we go.
Well, great. So, flying machine, it's a mech, I guess.
Yeah, that's about it.
You have turned it back.
Yeah.
Just the fact that it's a 3-drop with 1/4, even though it's a Wind Fury. Like, you don't... Yeah, it sucks that when you hit it only tickles, but tickles twice is just equally bad.
Yeah,
well, the Wind Fury can always get buffed and have, like, double effect.
Yeah, but I feel like if you have a weak Wind Fury creature like that, like, the opponent's just gonna kill it. Because it's, like, it has Wind Fury. The point of Wind Fury is you want a charge with your Wind Fury.
Yeah,
that's why Doomhammer is good, that's why Lakir is good. Like, you want the burst. And you don't get the burst if your creature is just sitting there with, like, shitty stats and your opponent will just trade it for free. So, like, you have to buff it the turn it comes down by some kind of insane amount, but yeah.
Or stealth it or some shit. I don't know.
Well, you don't have to buff it the turn it comes down.
I don't know.
It also just gets traded for free.
Because it has 4 health, it can survive. I think that's the idea. You can play it and it might actually survive for you to do
play it on turn 3.
stuff.
You can play it on turn 3, bro.
Yeah.
How much...
No, it's mech, I guess.
I guess
everything is possible. The
but
dream.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah,
no,
I don't like it. I think it's bad.
I bow down to your dream.
I dreamed of this. So, yeah, it's equally as boring as the previous card. So let's hope that there will be some more exciting cards coming up.
Let's hope.
Let's hope for Hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin.
It's a 3-mana 2/3. Whenever you play a 1 attack minion, give it +2/+2.
So that makes
that actually
this card. This card is Blizzard's way of saying, okay, we just created 3 terrible cards. How do we fix them? Hey, this card.
That is actually true.
Yeah. We even just rated at least 2 cards. They're awful. Wait, this guy. Yeah. Okay, this guy is good.
This guy makes
and the other guys are still
decent.
awful.
Yes.
No,
my
the other
awful
guys
cards
are
are
still
decent.
Like, if you have to compare the Vicinity there, they're all 3-drops, which makes it really annoying to play.
The really retarded thing is that, like, you if you build a deck around this and don't draw Hobgoblin, you have that deck.
Yeah.
You can't do anything.
That's
like,
the problem. The condition is 1 attack minions, and 1 attack minions suck.
What about Control Warrior? You have Armorsmith and Acolyte of Pain.
No.
And this.
Do you want to buff them? Do you want to have a card that only buffs those?
I would like to have a Acolyte of Pain with 5 health. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Do you give the other minion +2/+2 or this guy +2/+2?
The other one.
You give the 1 damage minion 2/2.
Yeah.
So you can have a 3/5 Acolyte of Pain.
You could play this potentially if you could play it in the Charge Warrior deck.
Undertaker Priest deck has both Cleric and Undertaker as targets. You could play Light Warden as well if you want to.
Yeah, I think it's not that bad. You might just play it in some kind of zoo where you play more 1 attack minions like Undertaker that get some kind of benefit from other stuff. And then you try to build a rush deck where, if I draw a Hobgoblin and a lot of these shitty minions later in the game, you can turn them into actually good minions. Like if you give +2/+2 to Argent Squire, it's suddenly a
oh my god,
3/3 with Divine Shield, right? And
that one is it's a good target to hit.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Well, the thing about this card is I actually see it being good in the OTK warrior deck that actually plays both Acolytes and Armor Smiths and can play the new warrior 1-drop as well.
Yeah. So I think this actually it's really like it's a way more interesting card than the two others we just saw.
Yeah, the point is the two others are so bad you shouldn't put them in a deck. You should just get other good one, like sort of good one health minions. You shouldn't one attack minions. You shouldn't bring the ones we just.
Yeah, and I think you need to play low drop minions, like something that you can play the same turn as Hobgoblin. Like 1 mana or 0 mana. Yeah. So. I actually like the card. I don't think it will necessarily get like see play because you have to sacrifice a lot of deck building synergy to play this card. But it might actually it might turn out to be great, but might also just turn out to be whatever.
Oh, you have to have this on the board and then play the 1-drop after, right?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
I think it will. I'm not sure it will see play competitively, but I think it will see play because it's.
Yeah.
I think there will be deck that plays this. Maybe not at the very top, but I think they will be around.
Because if you look at it like from purely a value standpoint, you miss out on 2 stats, right, from a 3-mana creature, but you get 4 stats if you play a 1-drop. So if you just play one guy with this guy, it's worth it.
Yeah. By far.
Yeah.
But if you only have one in the deck, it's gonna be problematic.
Yeah, exactly.
To get
That's why I am talking about like you have to do some sacrifices in your deck.
Yeah.
But so it depends whether or not these sacrifices are worth it for the synergy, or if like they need to hold the deck together on their own because you're not always gonna draw a Hobgoblin. So.
Truly.
Yeah. Truly.
Outrageous.
So the next card I'm very excited to talk about.
That was a pretty good introduction for the next card, actually.
It's a 4-mana, 4/5 mech called Mechanical Yeti. It has the effect of Death Rattle. Give each player a spare part. So very quickly, the spare parts were all these 1-mana spells that had very insignificant effects, but still. They did something like +1 attack to a minion, +1 health, freeze someone.
In general, we rated it for like 1/3 of a card, right?
Yeah, by Trump logic, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
But I think I agree for the most part with that.
Yeah.
So, let me tell you how I looked at this card. The first time I saw this card, I was like, okay, so it dies and it gives your opponent a spare part. And I was like, oh wait, it also gives you a spare part. Wow, this card's insane.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, it's just like the effect is neutral, right? So it's just a Yeti with a tribe, archetype, so it's just super good.
The spare parts aren't even good. Yeah, the spare parts aren't even
they're just irrelevant.
Game changing. So if you think of it as pretty much an irrelevant card, then it's like a 4/5 mech, and you can play it in any mech deck, and it will be insane because it's a fucking Yeti.
And not only in mech decks. Like, you can play this card in any deck that wants more Yeti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You now have 4 Yetis. Congrats.
Yeah.
But I think the tribe tag is the most important thing. The fact that it's a mech. So you actually have a Yeti with synergy with your other cards. That's
drop a
insane.
Yeti before turn 4.
Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah. It's like the perfect follow-up for the Warper on turn 2 and then Yeti on turn 3, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And did we have that before? Like on any good targets, there was Jeeves, but it was like,
if you coined out the 2-drop, you could drop the Spider Tank on turn 2, which would be really sick.
Yeah,
that's like
that's true. Yeah,
but yeah, this is more really perfect targets to get out early. It's like curving mech shit is gonna be so good. It's unreal. Like they have 2-drops, 3-drops, 4-drops. Not sure they have a 5-drop, but they have a 6-drop even. It's just
depending on the class you play, of course.
Yeah, no, they have all neutral cards of all those
Yeah. But a lot of classes have.
Yeah. Additional one. Yeah. It's gonna be so insane.
Yeah, I think I agree with Hirudra here that mech. When a lot of people hype all the new cards, but I think the only thing that actually is just insane is all the mechs. Is my prediction, at least.
I don't know. I feel like there are some of those class cards that are really sick as well. But yeah, let's look at that later.
We'll get to them eventually. So it's Yeti number 2. And it might even be better than Yeti, or probably is better than Yeti. So, any more comments for mechanical Yeti?
Thumbs up, it's good.
And I like the artwork as well. So, the next card is a Lost Tall Strider. It's a 4-mana 5/4, and it's Beast.
Insanely boring.
Insanely boring indeed. I agree.
I don't know. The classic Beast card that has no effect and has generic stats.
So this card is like, okay, we'll take the Mechanical Yeti. It's a really good card. It's like a 4/5, and it's got a mech and has a death rattle, and then they look at, okay, what can Beast get? Oh, fuck Beast. They'll just get a 5/4.
Let's swap the stats so they're worse and remove the effect.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, to be honest, the effect was neutral for Mechanical Yeti. But there's a huge difference between a 5/4 and a 4/5.
Yeah, 4/5 is infinitely better.
Yeah.
Well, basically, it's the equivalent of a 4-mana Bloodfin Raptor, right?
Yeah, or a Brewmaster without any bouncing.
Yeah, and I think we all agreed that Bloodfin Raptor was not only boring, but also
the Crocodile was just better.
Yeah.
Oh, that's maybe just me. I just prefer having 2/3.
Yeah, I think I agree.
It's even more important. It's more important on...
The Crocodile was actually played in competitive.
4/5 is just so much better than 5/4.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
So, I don't think this card will be played.
The thing, just a quick rundown. The reason why 4/5 is much better than 5/4 is that generally 3-mana spells can deal 4 damage.
Yeah.
And not 5. So.
And 2-mana spells with 1 spell power or Soulfire and all of these guys just wrecks it. Where 5 mana, it's way harder to find a spell that just deals 5.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Need Starfall or some.
Yeah, and then it's 5 mana. So it's a huge difference. Mm-hmm. So, Lost Tall Strider will not be played. It sucks, it's boring, but the artwork is cool. Yes, well, at least I think some Final Fantasy fans will.
No, I like it.
Does it have a gun in the hand?
What?
Does it have a gun in its right hand?
Oh, it might actually. I'm not sure, actually. It's hard to see.
A built-in revolver on its knee?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is a revolver.
The hell?
That's pretty cool.
Come on, guys.
Okay, next. Go,
I like
go,
the artwork, man. Yeah, let's move on to the next card. So, the next card is a 4-mana as well. Arcane Nullifier. It has 2 attack and 5 health. It reads Taunt. Can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. And it is a tribal as well, with the tribal mech.
So basically, this is the card that everyone was crying about wanting to have when Miracle was the best deck. Like before any nerfs to Miracle, when Miracle was at the top, everyone was like, "Oh, please, we need a card with a taunt and spell immunity." And then they're like, "Yay, here you go." After we shit on Miracle.
Salty dude. But yeah, it's a good thing against Miracle Rogue, but against anything else, I don't think it's really that good. You should probably compare it to Sentient Shieldmaster.
Yeah.
And you sacrifice 1 damage to get that effect. That's arguable, but I don't think the 2 damage is.
You have the tribal as well, though. I think it's. I don't think this is necessarily bad. It's not shiny and really good right off, but I don't think it's that bad actually.
No, I don't think it's bad either. I just think
the spell immunity shit is really annoying to deal with. Like, how does hunters deal with taunt minions? They kill command them or they hunters mark them? They don't hunters mark anymore though. But they don't want to hit through them, kinda.
That's true.
Yeah, it's good against those really aggressive decks.
With the bow, but yeah.
Yeah.
Hunter and Rogue, I think, are the only two decks that actually use spells to clear taunts. Might be wrong. Shaman, perhaps? Yeah, Shaman.
Shaman, if you can get the board early, you just use your shitty minions with flame tongues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you want to protect yourself against a Doom Hammer stuff, then finish. Yeah. This can be good against Shaman.
But this doesn't protect you against Doomhammer, dude. Hero power. Doomhammer is not a hero power.
Oh, but it takes a hit.
Well, it's taunt.
Oh yeah. Okay. On that note, but then but is that if that's the intention, you want to pick another taunt?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not outright good, but I don't think it's outright bad either. I think this is maybe average-ish.
I think it's not good enough.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest, I don't think we'll see this in early decks other than mech.
Well, but in mech.
Yeah, of course. I think if we will see Senjin after GVG, I think we will see this card as well.
I agree with the Hiruka. Because, like he said, you lose one attack, but you gain spell power and attack.
But all of the 2-mana minions we just went through, they all have free health. I think there's a huge difference between if you want to clear something, like in a rush deck. I think there's a huge difference between having 2 and 3 attack. You don't need 4. 3 is enough.
That's a good point, though. Yeah.
And Senjin isn't bad, but we don't see it too much. And I think we'll see this less than Senjin.
I play Senjin.
Unless you want, I guess, if you really need to survive, and you play some crazy shit where you only play 8 and 7 mana minions, I guess it helps you slightly better because it's more foolproof. But I don't think it's good enough. But we'll see, I guess.
True.
So, any other statements about this card?
Nah.
Against what I said? I don't know. So, without further ado, I will move on to the next 4-mana card. It is Kazan Mystic, 4 attack and 3 health. Battlecry, take control of a random enemy.
Yes, thank you, Blizzard. Oh my goodness. So, okay, this was the most retarded thing that Blizzard did ever, to give the only counter to secrets to a deck that has secrets. It was so stupid. And at last they solved the problem. Thank you. That was, I don't know. I like this card. I am not sure it will be extremely good or anything, but I think the card was needed in the game because we needed to have an option to deal with traps, basically.
I really like the stats on this card because it to me what it screams is, okay, this card is the same card as Pink Power Ranger. I don't know what it's called.
What?
What is it called?
Pint-sized Summoner?
No. 4-mana Silence Guy.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking of.
Spellbreaker.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it has the exact same stats, and the effect is kind of the same.
Yeah.
So, like, you can put... Basically, you can tech this card into the spot where Spellbreaker was in Warrior. Then you can play this card instead if you see a lot of secrets. So that way, I think it's a healthy card to have, kind of like the Spellbreaker.
It's a card you really want to play because of the battle cry. So it's a card you want to hold on to if there's a chance the battle cry is going to be used. And that's the same as Spellbreaker, exactly the same. Like Harrison Jones as well. You want that battle cry to be used in that matchup. So it's got to go into the control decks who are predicting facing like hunters, mages, or even paladin for that matter. So yeah. I think it's definitely going to be a tournament card, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's I think you made a really great comparison with Harrison Jones. I don't think the comparison with Spellbreaker is too good because Spellbreaker can be used against every deck.
Yeah.
And Harrison Jones has a way bigger like swing momentum if it uses its effect. Yeah. And the same goes for Kazan Mystic, where like you stealing a secret that means you destroy a secret for them, and you gain control of the secret yourself. That could be like potentially against mage. That's a 6 mana swing.
Difference, yeah, it's really huge.
Getting
So
the ice,
if you get it
block.
off, it has a huge swing, but the downside is that it's 2 mana too weak, just like Harrison Jones. So it's really like
Yeah,
meta
2
dependent.
stats, right? 2 stats.
Yeah, 2 stats. Yeah. So it's a really meta dependent card where if the meta is flooded with secrets, it's gonna be really strong, just like Harrison Jones is right now. But if the meta is not, like if there's not enough secrets, then
If
you
there's
won't
no
see.
secrets, it's not
Yeah.
gonna be good. Well,
If this gonna see a lot of play, do you think players with secrets, for example a mage, a freeze mage, just for an example of what we know, is gonna play 2 secrets at the same time, just to try to counter this in some
I think
fashion?
they're gonna play Mirror Entity.
Yeah.
Wreck this card.
No,
well,
it doesn't
that's-
trigger the battle cry.
That's actually really interesting.
Mirror Entity should trigger first, I think.
Yeah.
No,
And
that's a
snipe
lie.
as well. Will it like
No.
what
Will
will
it
happen?
trigger
no.
on the Kessan Mystic side then?
Battle
Give you a-
cries activate
Oh.
first.
Yeah, it's not gonna trigger.
Then
any
the
of those.
secret activates.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because if you play the
Injured
Drake
Blade Master also.
or injured Blade Master
Yeah.
and the opponent doesn't
Oh.
get a full health guy, it gets
Yeah, that's actually true.
So-
so
This
Oh,
guy-
wait.
that's true.
Doesn't
yeah, that's
depend on
true. Yeah,
anything
okay.
because
I
you're
agree,
always
I agree.
gonna play the secret first.
But it might still, like, if you steal it, and then it might trigger on your side. That is the actual question, whether or not it will,
Well,
will
it shouldn't,
remember to
but
trigger.
it could.
Yeah.
It could. It might be a bug if it does, but I think the idea is that it shouldn't trigger because battle cries usually trigger first.
Yeah. People are hyping this card a lot, but I don't think it's an auto include.
No, definitely not. I think just the existence of this card might actually put down the amount
will-
of secrets being played.
Yeah.
And then in turn might make this card less good, and then we will have this
Yeah, we
string
will
of
have this
meta
swing.
webs. Yeah.
It's just like Harrison Jones should reduce the amount of weapons in the meta, but it doesn't.
Honestly, I don't care about this card. I just like in decks, I don't care about this card. What I care about is that this card exists. Like you
Yeah.
said, that's the important part. And Harrison, like people do actually care more for their weapons. Like I've seen top players in tournaments and such hold on to Doomhammer in Shaman decks, like not
Yeah.
play it until you can win with it.
Yeah.
Because perhaps they know he has Harrison or there's a big chance.
And
So-
it's also fun when you're going into fatigue and people just have to play Harrison even though they know there's a Doomhammer maybe, just because they don't want to fatigue on that.
Yeah.
So, I think it's a cool card. Definitely one of the more interesting ones we have been through today.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the next one. The last 4 mana card of the neutrals. It is a 4 mana 4/1. It's called Mini Mage and it reads Stealth Spell Damage +1.
That's so bad.
But why?
Why would you give it 1 health?
Yeah, that's so insane.
It dies to everything.
What?
Yeah, you
It
can
dies
read.
to freaking.
And 4 mana. Like, how do you not have an AoE card by 4 mana? And why
Yeah.
would you want it stealth? Oh.
Yeah, it's a Panther where you remove 1 health,
One
you
health and
remove
give it-
Beast, and give it +1 spell damage.
And make it cost another mana.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think you have to pair the situation with the patient assassin. And
For
the
3
reason-
mana, I would play this card.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, it's just too squishy.
For
even
2
in
mana,
stealth.
I would play this card.
For
It's
2
funny
mana?
because
Yeah, I
Yeah.
probably would as well.
Patient Assassin, right? It kills everything. This guy doesn't kill everything. I think you might actually even say it's just worse than Patient Assassin.
Yeah. Also the fact that if you play this on turn 4, you don't have an answer. You can still play a lot of 5 drops or
play
4
it,
drops
yeah.
that actually can deal with that.
Yeah.
That's so
Oh, well.
bad. So bad.
So, yeah. This card sucks.
This,
And it's an epic. Woo!
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Fun fact, Patient Assassin is also an epic. So you could say this card is actually Patient Assassin that's gotten old and is like...
It's oh, that's
and can't kill shit anymore.
It actually looks like Patient Assassin.
Yeah, it does, and it's underwater as well.
Oh, stop, guys! It's bad. Come stop.
Yeah. It's bad. The artwork is more interesting.
Okay.
Than the
Okay, that's true.
Patient Assassin was way too patient.
Was too patient.
Well,
If you play it on turn 2 and you don't attack with it until turn 4, it transforms into this card.
that could be cool. So yeah, this card sucks major balls.
Yeah.
So let's move on
Major balls.
to another, I think, bad card. 5 mana, 7/4 pirate, salty dog.
This card's name.
Also known as Reynad.
Exactly.
Lol.
You will like I swear
Reynad.
this card is gonna get spammed more on Twitch chat than it's gonna get played.
Yeah.
And the sad part is that it's true. This card is not gonna see
Yeah, this card
No.
is insanely bad.
4 health dies to 1 mana Soulfire.
Yeah, and that like it's a 5 mana card that dies to 3 mana cards, and it dies to Big Game Hunter. Like, it's just bad. It has no effect. Like even if it had an effect, I still wouldn't play it.
It's a late game pirate, dude.
Depends what the defect is.
Late game.
Oh, mid game.
It is a Fugen without the effect of summoning an 11/11. And Fugen isn't played.
Mm.
I think Fugen was the reason that Stalag is not played, because Stalag is okay, but Fugen sucks major balls, so it's not worth it even for an 11/11. Are you really gonna play the bad half of that combo?
No.
Without the benefit of actually summoning the 11/11? No.
But the name,
But Salty Dog though.
Salty Dog.
Salty dog.
Yeah.
It's definitely salt-inducing when you play it yourself.
When you lose to it, oh.
Oh, that's salty as well.
Even in a pirate deck, if you play Captain's Parrot and you get this, you're disappointed. So you will
Salty
never
Dog.
you'll get salty. So you're not gonna play this card. Just not.
Hopefully not, at least.
So let's move on to something that hopefully isn't vanilla. There's actually a lot of vanillas in this set.
Yeah, there is.
Which I think is actually good.
Yeah, it's cool.
I think that belongs in a expansion. Like
Museum.
of course, you need the interesting cards, the fun cards, and you need the vanilla cards as well.
Yeah,
And you also need some bad cards, quote unquote bad cards, which aren't effectively gonna get played, but they add diversity to the game. They add in arena, you can maybe have to draft them, use them, and such. So it's necessary, but there's just not much to talk about the cards, because you can see that they aren't as good as the others.
Yeah,
There was a really good tweet from Ben Brode talking about why they're gonna include bad cards and why it's a good thing to include bad things. And it was really it's important in many situations.
I have heard a statement like that from a Magic developer that I really respect. I don't play Magic, but I listen to podcasts, and I think there's a huge difference between a game where you print cards and they never change, and a game where you can actually change cards on demand. But I think
let's not get into that.
Yeah, that's a discussion for.
But it's a general thing. Like, take all other game types, shooters, MOBAs. There's always bad choices.
Well, yeah, I think there's a huge difference. I will make this short. I think there's a huge difference between a card where it is obvious that it sucks, and a card that might not be good for the meta, but you can see some kind of interaction with it. But yeah. Let's move on.
Yeah.
To Junk Butt, a 5 mana 1/5 mech. Whenever a friendly mech dies, gain +2/+2. So Junk Butt.
It's really hard to actually just sit and consider good things about a card that has so bad stats. Like, there's a huge downside in stats, and you really have to think hard about what the upside's gonna be from a card like this.
Well, it's obvious. The upside is if you have two mechs that die, then it's good. If you have one, then it's bad. If you have 0, then it's terrible. And it's a 5-drop, which means that you play it. Well, that's actually not too bad because you want to mech. Okay, the way you play this card is you play mech deck, and you drop this card in turn 5, and then you trade 2 guys into 2 of the opponent's guys, or 1 of the opponent's guys, like 2 small guys into a big guy, and then you have a pretty good card actually. You have a 5/9. Yeah, that's really good actually. So I actually think this card has potential in a zoo-ish mech deck.
Yeah, a deck where you have to trade all time for board control.
Or this you play a board control mech deck, and this is like your high drop card.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like Doombringer, what's it called, Doom Guard.
A lot of mechs actually also have Death Rattle.
Yeah,
so
that's
you
true.
can get that effect as well if you need it. I think there's definitely potential here, but it might be too expensive. It might be.
I think if it was anything less, if it was like a 4-drop, it would be insane.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think I'm just it's hard to evaluate because I don't like this card. Really depends on whether or not the mech deck is consistent enough. Because in theory, it's good enough. Like
it
you
will
only
be
need
super
to sacrifice. Yeah, but it could be inconsistent if you include cards like this that are 5 mana, right?
Oh, that is true.
So whether or not this card is worth it depends on whether or not the deck is consistent enough to have a play early, even if you draw into this early. So, I think, I think it's good enough to see play.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, maybe
But
not
it might
top
not
time, but
be.
I think it's okay.
Yeah. So the next card is a legendary. 5 mana, 6/3. Battlecry, destroy a beast. And this guy is obviously Hamed Nessingwari, which you encountered in the tutorial.
World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Big Game Hunter's teacher, I guess.
Fits the lore.
That's a good yeah.
I think. I think
I got
this
the
card
beast in my side.
Yeah.
This guy actually have the beast in his side.
Yeah, he does. I think this card is kind of cool.
This is Blizzard's quick fix to everyone that whines about hunters and
no, the thing is they're implementing stuff that gives like Druid is gonna get beasts as well, right?
Yeah.
And like it's a bit like a big game hunter tech that it's not live against all classes, but it's really good, really good when it gets off, and it's not all awful. It's really bad if it doesn't have an effect, but like
it's actually exactly like Big Game Hunter in that regard because it has low defense, high attack. That means that it has the potential to actually trade even if you don't get the effect, which is important because Big Game Hunter actually has that potential as well. Because like you 4 attack minion for 3 mana, which can kill any other 3-drop if it doesn't die to random spell. So
yeah, that's the thing. It is kind of in contrast with the whole you want more health because it survives better. So I think like there's arguments for both sides where big attack can trade upwards, but you don't necessarily want big attack. You might also want big health.
I think if this were, it's better. I better like this card as a 6/3 than a 3/6. I think.
Yeah, because it's a utility card and you play it in a control matchup, right?
Yeah.
So like if the opponent uses removal on it, you don't really mind that much. I think. I think that's maybe some weird sort of reasoning.
Yeah.
Maybe not true.
But it's gonna be it's gonna be more annoying to play it naked when there's no beast on the enemy team, and you actually have to play it.
Yeah, that's true because it's 5 mana.
Yeah.
It's
a Harrison Jones.
Well, but the swing isn't as big.
That's true.
That depends what you shoot.
Like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, but yeah, that's true because Big Game Hunter always shoots big shit.
Yeah, that's the thing. It really depends whether or not there will be like some kind of stable beast or something that every guy, like if every deck ever plays a specific beast, this might get really strong. And also like right now or the past 2 months or so, people complained about Hunter a lot. And
but this isn't good against.
complained.
This isn't good against aggro Hunter. This is
No,
good
it's
against
good against
Savannah High main, but you don't die to Savannah High main against. I don't
think-
know.
You still die as this Savannah High main.
Yeah, but you don't want this card as the counter. You want I don't know, silence and shield slam for Savannah High main.
That's true. So, like we might see Control Hunter with all the new cards introduced. So this card might be good, but I think,
Yeah.
like my initial reaction is that it's not good enough.
Yeah, it definitely seems like there are gonna be some beast in the new patch
Yeah.
that actually can make this this a good card, and it's a swing card still. So
Yeah.
Question.
To a certain extent.
Do you know if the Druid card that
It will.
becomes a 7/7 is that a beast as well
Yeah.
well as the Druid?
And also Druid of the Claw.
Yeah, Druid of the Claw. I knew that one.
yeah. It's
Huh,
gonna be
that's
gonna be beast against Druid. But yeah.
If I don't think Druid necessarily will play the beast route, so
No,
it is
of
only
course.
good against the 5-drop in normal Druid, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, it might be okay. It depends on the mana, but initially, my reaction is it's not good.
I think
Um,
I agree.
Some might disagree, or
No, you have to really consider why you want to include this card. There has to be some kind of upside to it. You can't just defend the choice by, it's probably gonna kill a 2-drop or something. That's not enough.
Because that's not good, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, if it kills a 2-drop, it's not too bad. You might want to play it where
Depends
Big
on
Game
it.
Hunter might not ever get value. Where if you queue up against speed, like a deck that plays speeds,
But
There's a
again,
bigger chance that
Big
it's gonna
Game
hit
Hunter is in decks right now that really want to have an edge in matchups that have those big minions.
yeah, that's true.
And you don't want to have that edge against minions who play beasts.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I agree with you, actually. Yeah.
But still a
That's
good
good,
card to have,
Michael.
like,
Good that you agree.
for once.
Because then we can move on.
Yeah.
Yay! We can move on to a very interesting card called Fell Reaver. It is a 5-mana 8/8 mech. Whenever your opponent plays a card, discard the top 3 cards of your deck. So, it's kind of like a giant. It is epic. It has a giant-ish picture. It has the stats, and you can play it early. What are you guys' thoughts?
This card is insane.
Really bad.
What? No. Whoa. I don't know.
I would like to hear your research first, then I can try to come with my
This is
counter.
so hard to judge.
Okay,
Yeah.
you play it in Zoo. You drop this guy on turn 5, where you already have guys on the board. Like, what the hell are they gonna do?
Isn't Sea Giant just better than?
No.
The other
this
guy's
card-
gonna play his minions, finish with a hex, and you're just fucking doomed.
No,
like 3 cards
Hex
from the
isn't
top
bad.
of your deck is not that bad. Like,
If this guy bases a hex, it's not too bad. I think the biggest problem is if your opponent can play like 2
Well,
spells.
if you queue up against a mill
It's gonna
deck,
be
and you play
9
this
cards
card,
that's gonna
then
be
you
disappear
lose.
from your deck,
Yeah,
dude.
you do. But
You don't want
that-
9 cards to disappear from your deck. And it's on turn 5. There's a good chance the guy
if
can
you
play 3.
If you play a rush deck, the game is usually over before you are past
Yeah.
half your deck.
That's
So
true.
this card is gonna be the biggest card in your rush deck.
But it doesn't do anything in the turn you play it, and you can play taunt against it.
No, but if you're already, I actually kind of agree with Dario here. If you're already
If you're already in
just a
control,
little bit ahead, even.
Oh
If
yeah,
you
yeah,
have
it's a
1 or
win
2
more card,
minions,
definitely.
Then you'll get Big Game 100 and cry. Because it's only target for Big Game Hunter in the deck.
well, that's true, but
But
yeah.
I
Then
don't
you
know.
still
That's
hit
not
them in the face.
really legit argumentation,
No.
but yeah, it's worth
Yeah.
noting though. I think so. When I first saw it, I was like, "Whoa, that's sick!" And then I was like, "Huh, that might actually come back and bite you."
Your opponent only needs to play 5 spells for half of your deck to disappear.
If you play this card, if you put it on the field against Miracle Rogue, you just die.
Yeah.
And maybe someone like a shaman with rock briders and all that good stuff.
I don't know. Yeah, they can just and you have to draw it early because like if you draw it in the bottom half of your deck, opponent just drops 3 cards in your. I don't know.
It's worth noting, I think, that you cannot draw the actual fatigue damage cards because it says discard. So when you go down to fatigue, you can never draw 3 fatigue cards. Yeah.
Hey guys, can we please just quickly agree that at some point we all agreed that tracking was the most broken shit. So why is this card not good?
No, dude,
your opponent
there's a huge difference.
Because your opponent can choose how many you discard.
You have no control over the effect.
It can swing. It can burn way faster.
Yeah.
But the point is that if you play it in the early game deck, which you have to do, then if you play this card on turn 5 and you already have at least one other minion, then the opponent, like, how is he gonna get you to mill more than one card? Like, if he has an out, he will use that out to kill this card, or else they will die. If he has an out to kill some of your minions on the board, he will use it, or he will die. So, like, if he uses one spell, like, if you use a swipe, you play this card, he uses swipe, then you still have an 8/8. And...
Well, yeah, but there's some, like...
The stats are so huge.
I think I have to compare it a bit to well, not for the effect or any other stats or anything, but Millhouse Mana Storm. Like, this can go really, really bad. It has great stats, but it can really bite your ass. Like, for example, you're playing against a mage. He it's his turn 6 or something. He polymorphs it on the last card, and he plays like double mirror image and a coin as well. Like, it really bites your ass.
Well, with the coin, it has potential, but...
You still lose, then. Like, yeah. Of course, if you play Mirror Entity, well, that's great.
If you play double Mirror Entity and Hex
then... But
yeah, okay,
imagine,
that is the worst
Imagine
case.
Sue, that also, just like Handlock, drops an 8/8, as well as the first 4 turns they play their Sue shit, right?
Yeah, that's
okay,
true.
yeah.
That's the difference. That's how strong it is.
Compare it completely to Doomguard turn 5, but you don't discard your hand. So it's like, whenever you play Zoo, you have minions, the opponent has nothing, and you play Doomguard turn 5 on an open board, you win the game. Because they can't handle the Doomguard because it has too much stats, and they can't, like, they can only handle one thing. They can either handle your board or your Doomguard. They can't handle both. This guy has better stats, and you don't discard your hand. So you always have the cards in your hand.
But the charge is a really big thing there, because it does something on your turn instantly.
Also, it is worth noting that this guy is a mech. I think this is just the equivalent. If you play like some kind of pure mech Sue kind of deck, it's just the equivalent of Doomguard. You might even play it together with Doomguard. That depends on the consistency again. But yeah, I think it's actually really strong. But I think the only reason this card might not see play is if Doomguard is considered like the better version, and there's not enough space for both, because then the deck will be too inconsistent. In that scenario, this card might actually just fall out of favor just because of Doomguard.
And the card owns Doomguard, though.
I think there's actually a huge merit to charge.
Well, there is, but yeah.
But yeah, it's very comparable. Because it's a really, like, it's a minion with
I like
stats.
And you control the downside of Doomguard. You don't control the downside of this card.
That's true. My comparison is I like this card better on turn 5, and the later the game gets, the better Doomguard gets.
Yeah, definitely. That's true. Yeah. But I think if you get a rush deck, the downside isn't. If you already are in the late part of the game, your early aggressive deck is already kind of losing to their value they get, because they draw better minions every turn. But if you get it early, I think it's just a nail in the coffin. Your opponent cannot fight back.
Probably.
So, well, I guess it's cool to have the varying opinions.
Yeah.
So a very interesting card, definitely. So we'll move right along to the next card. It is a 6-mana legendary Mogre the Ogre.
Yeah, this. Oh my goodness, this card.
It is a 7/6.
Oh my.
It reads all minions have 50% chance to attack the wrong enemy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. All minions, also your opponent's minions.
This card is terrible, but it's so funny.
Well, I think there's a big difference between the 3-mana 4/4 and this guy, because the stats doesn't outweigh the 50% chance to miss.
Would you have played? You wouldn't have played this over Boulder Fist if it was a 6/7, right?
To be fair, the effect is not neutral, the effect is positive.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you can attack with your minions and then play this guy.
Mm.
So your opponent will receive the negative effect before you do yourself.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, also your opponents.
Potentially, you play this guy and it's immortal.
Yeah.
You will try to attack it all day. You'll just go to your face and you'll just hit him for days. Yes.
But I don't think that's enough to outweigh it.
No.
And like it's bad stats.
It's a fun card though.
It's a really fun card.
I think I think Boulder Fist is better still. So.
Like, look at the weird YouTube videos you're gonna see for this. Like, people just 3 or 4 turns in a row just hitting weird shit. Just all over the place. Like hockey. Air hockey pucks. But yeah.
I'm not sure.
The stats should maybe be better. What if it was a
7/7?
Yeah, 7/8.
Yeah. I think that then it would
9/9.
actually be really like good enough.
20
right now, but in my opinion, it's just slightly. I actually think it's slightly better than Boulder Fist Ogre, even if it gets killed by BGH. It's slightly better, but not enough. Like very slightly better.
I agree for the reason that you mentioned, that the effect is actually an upside, which I don't think most people will realize, because you can control the effect to some degree.
For a turn at least.
Yeah, and they will have to deal with it. If they can, they will kill this card first, so they can choose what to attack with their minions. So this guy is effectively a lightning rod for a removal spell.
Yeah.
Sorta. And it's not the best. I think I would. I wouldn't
it's not
play,
good enough. It's not good.
I would like the other 6 drops are so much. Like the other 6 drops are insane, and this guy is just above average.
No, it's not even. It's just average.
I think it's above. For the reason you said, but yeah.
But yeah, the thing is, Boulder Fist is not average. It's below average, unless you're talking arena. I don't think Boulder Fist is ever going to be good enough as long as you have Sylvanas and Canon and all this.
Yeah, that's true.
I think the only reason this card exists actually is, of course, for fun players, but also to in tournament play, see Sneed Soul Shredder die and summon this guy for hilariousness.
Yeah.
Yes.
True.
And that is actually true for a lot of the legendaries. I think a lot of them are really trolly, and that's fine. Unless I draw them, then I'm gonna hate it. But yeah, let's move on to the next legendary card.
Oh, dude, this guy can. Last thing, that guy can save you from getting lethal by your opponent.
That is actually true. It is kind of taunt.
It is kind of taunt. Kind of sort of taunt.
Kind of sort of taunt, unless you have taunt. Then it's kind of sort of anti-taunt.
Yeah. It's kind of sort of funny like that. Next card.
So yeah, Gaslov. It is a 6-mana 3/6. Whenever you cast a 1-mana spell, add a random mech to your hand.
Shaman.
I think. Actually, this card is really good.
This guy replaces Auctioneer and Shaman.
This card seems really, really cool, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually true in Shaman. I initially thought, like, obviously, this card is built for spare part synergy.
Yeah, that's
if you play this, you also play Mechanical Yeti, over Yeti, just because there's a chance that you get a slightly more out of the effect than they do.
Mech Shaman with this card.
Yeah, it's perfect for Mech Shaman.
Add a random mech to your hand is really thick. It's just like you have endless fuel.
Yeah. And you're gonna get like 3 or 5 cards in a turn if it survives.
And 50% of the mechs are actually quite good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them are.
Most of the mechs are good, and all of them have mech synergy, which makes them good.
Yeah.
One thing though, the stats are not like far better than Gadget-san.
I like the stats better now.
And Gadget-san triggers on all. Of course it has one more stat, and it's put into health, so that's better. But it's not that much better. And Gadget-san you draw from your own deck. That might be both good and bad, because you might mill out too fast, where this guy is one of those endless supply of stuff.
You have to consider, again, the fact that you have the possibility to actually get class mechs. And
that's true.
Most of the class mechs are actually pretty insane.
Yeah. So, but are you gonna play this in a big mech deck just because there's so many mechs that needs other mechs?
Yeah, definitely. Like mech shaman. Use this card turn 7. Use Earthshock, Lightning Bolt, Rockbiter, or whatever, and then you get the priest mech card that buffs a mech with 4 health or 4 health.
Are you even gonna play Freezing Strike or whatever it's called, just for the synergy?
No. You don't even have to.
No, it's true. You have 6 spells, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Farsight to get an extra spell. Farsight, draw a Farsight.
That's not a 1-mana spell though.
Yeah,
it's got to draw a spell, and if that spell is a 3-mana, you have Hex and another Farsight.
Well, then it's not 1 mana.
Then it's 0 mana.
Oh shit! You have to be 4. Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, that's
just rambling here.
I think Shaman, just because they have Rockbite and all these Lightning Bolt and things like that.
I think Shaman is the only deck.
Yeah.
Unless you can go pure spare parts and assume that you can get enough spare parts accumulated to get this card good. I'm not sure actually now. Before I was kind of hyped, but now I'm like,
I think only in Shaman.
Yeah. It's just slightly better than Gadget-san.
The stats are better than Gadget-san.
Yeah.
The mana cost is the same now, and
yeah. Well, I think it has cool potential, definitely. It's kind of like you can also say it's your 3rd Gadget-san if you play, I don't know, Miracle.
That's a lot of 6-drops, dude.
And then you get useless mechs. That's...
Yeah. Or that mage logic that we have seen lately with Strifecrow, where you play a deck, you go to fatigue just by playing your things, and you generate 3 cards and somehow win by doing that.
Yeah, he played that at DreamHack, right?
Yeah, he did.
And it was actually very interesting, although kind of boring to watch.
Definitely boring.
It was exciting because it was new, but the games were really drawn out.
Oh yeah, the Matzo versus Colento?
But he had a lot. He played that deck a lot, actually. It was always exciting just because it was new.
Okay.
So, well, enough about DreamHack, I guess. That's for another episode, maybe. Let's move on to the next card, the second last one, before the neutral minions are gone. So, this is the important card here is the 7-mana Truxor the Earthinator. What? Well, it is a 6/6. Whenever your opponent casts a spell, summon a burly Rockjaw truck.
Yep.
So this was what we talked about earlier. An actual counter to Miracle Rogue. You play this card, and it's comparable to.
Well, does the guy get 2 attack from the spell that summoned him?
It might
doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But
use a spell, you get a 3/5 for free. Like it ruins the we had a theory with the 2/3 that gained attack every time a spell was used, right?
Yeah.
The drawback was that the spell would normally be used to kill it, but it doesn't matter here. You still get the 3/5.
Yeah, it's insane. Like this card is really good. Holy shit.
Yeah.
This is like Northep.
This is probably one of the best legendaries.
This is insane.
The comparison with Lothep, it is worth noting that Lothep has 5/5 for 5, where this guy is 6/6 for 7.
Dude, the stats are insane.
And also, it cannot prevent your opponent from killing you. Like, if they have the spells to kill you, they will just do it anyways. But I agree.
Taunt.
Yeah, I agree that outside of those two scenarios, this card is, like, really strong. Also, just because Lothep is strong, this is comparable to Lothep. I think it's really, really strong. Might just disable your opponent's spells.
And I think because it's played before, like a polymorph or a hex, it even triggers there as well.
Yeah, I think they do.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It's so broken. So broken. It sounds really broken.
Yeah, in control or mid-range decks, you can just disable your opponent's spell, like permanently, unless they kill it with a minion.
With a minion? But how are they gonna do that? Like,
if you're ahead, it just...
You get board control and you get this out, you win.
Mm.
How are they gonna clear it? Like, then they will have to Warrior will have to shield block, shield slam it, give you 2, 3, 5s.
How are you gonna kill this guy?
One of them.
I love when he gets
I don't get it, man.
Tell me, how you gonna kill this guy? I do not understand.
I love when you get excited, you suddenly turn Italian.
It's impossible, bro. You cannot get it.
So, yeah.
Whoa,
I think
I haven't seen this card before, and I was really shocked.
Yeah, your face was pretty priceless when you saw it.
Yeah, I believe so.
Actually, just if it didn't have the text on the burly rock jar truck thingy,
it would still be insane.
It would still be awesome, yeah.
Well, then Burly Rockjaw truck would be bad. It is worth noting that this Burly Rockjaw truck is an actual card that you can craft and put in your deck and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You can own. You sure?
It has a. Yeah, it has.
Oh, it has a gem. That's right.
Yeah, and it was previewed earlier before this set of cards. But yeah, I agree that in the control matchup it's stronger than Lothep, actually. Like way stronger.
Yep.
And stronger than Cairn as well.
It's yeah, in another way. Because Cairn gets wrecked by spells usually, unless it's 2 fireballs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like this card is the 7-drop.
There was no 7
There was no 7-drops before.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
But you always played 6-drops and then you jumped to 8-drops and then now you have a 7-drop.
Yeah. I even considered playing the Boom guy, Dr. Boom, just because it was a 7-drop that wasn't like it was okay. But now this guy definitely
Boom is insane as well.
Yeah.
Boom is just as good as this card.
Yeah.
I would argue they are both insane.
Yeah.
Like better than some 8-drops.
Yeah. I agree. So this card is awesome.
Definitely.
And it's even more awesome when you have walked through a lot of really bad cards.
This is gonna be my first craft, I think.
Yeah, probably. The artwork isn't as exciting.
Oh god. Who cares?
So,
Always artwork.
The last neutral minion.
Prepare yourself for
It is an 8 mana. It is exciting. It is Force Tank Max.
One could even argue it is divine.
It is divine and has divine shield.
We should have some American music cue here.
Yeah, we are all. What? Force Tank Max?
So let's take a break, yeah?
Guys, this card has offered one attack and 1 health and Ragnarok's effect for Divine Shield. That should be argument enough not to play it.
Well, to be honest, yeah,
you can play 2 of these cards.
It is worth noting that if Ragnarok hits this while it has Divine Shield, it's kind of sad.
Okay.
And then you can't kill Ragnarok in the next turn.
But yeah,
the card sucks. Okay, the card's really bad.
It's a late game budget card for people not really sure what to put in late game and only having like common cards. It's
that's
actually really bad in arena as well.
As well.
And that's really sad, I think.
No, it's not necessarily bad in arena. I think it's actually
it's like the tree.
It's worse than Boulder Fist.
No, yep.
Yeah, it killed. The thing is,
but
in arena, there's mage all over the place, but the meta might change completely. So mage isn't like the omnipresent arena.
It's still gonna be.
And this guard is comparable to the tree, but yeah, I don't think.
What? What?
It's comparable to the tree.
It is.
8 mana, 8/8.
It's a 7/7
The bad tree. The bad.
Yeah, but with divine
and
shit.
It doesn't. What? No, it doesn't have taunt. What? No way.
What?
Okay.
Scoots.
Then me and Dario will just have to disagree with you because I think it's definitely
Worst case, this card is a 7/8 for 8.
Yeah.
With mech.
Without taunt.
Yeah, but you don't really in arena you don't really have in arena you don't really need taunt. In arena most players have taunt.
Yeah, you just need value. That's
the
actually
main
true.
reason in arena is actually just value.
No, you're drunk. All of you are drunk. Stop.
But in constructed, this card sucks major balls, and even if you're a budget player, play something that is better.
Play Bull of Hisoka with this card, please.
And that is all of the neutral minions revealed. We will go through all the class specific minions in the next part. For now, you can take a break because this has been a long episode, and we will be back in part 2 shortly. See you guys later.